Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend after she said my vulnerability made her feel unsafe? I'm 28 and had been dating my girlfriend 26 for about a year and some change. I really thought we were on the same page. We had a great connection and genuinely enjoyed each other's company. But over the past month, I started noticing something just a little off in the relationship. I don't know how else to describe it, just a weird vibe. There's been a lot of stress in my life recently. Work has been tough, I'm a teacher, and some family drama has been weighing on me. I'm usually the type to keep my problems to myself, but I've been making an effort to open up because I don't want to live that way anymore. A week ago, I decided to tell her how overwhelmed I've been and how hard it's been for me to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Her response was awful in my opinion. She said something like, "I don't want to sound harsh, but when you talk like this, I kind of feel unsafe. I need you to be strong. I can't deal with both your problems and mine." I tried to reassure her that just because I'm having a hard time doesn't mean I'm weak or incapable. I explained that being honest about my struggles was part of trusting her and that it took a lot for me to open up. She doubled down, saying, "Everyone has rough patches, but honestly, you just have to deal with it." I didn't argue with her at the moment because I was too stunned. But the more I thought about it, the worse it felt. I realized I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to bottle up my feelings just to fit into her idea of a strong man. That's not who I am, and it's not who I want to be. So last night, I ended things. She was really upset and accused me of throwing away a good relationship over a misunderstanding. She claimed I was punishing her for being honest. Now, some of my friends think I might have overreacted, but I really don't think I did. Now for the top comments. Nope, you didn't overreact. She wants. Who knows what she wants? But she clearly doesn't want a relationship with a true partner. Don't go back to her. Find someone who sees the strength in your vulnerability, a partner who listens, comforts, and encourages you, not someone who criticizes you and politely tells you to shut up. You deserve better. Let her go. Yes, that's exactly it. Imagine being in a relationship where you can't even share your feelings with your partner or spouse. I wonder if she applies the same logic to herself. Does she think she's not allowed to share her feelings either? Maybe it's an upbringing thing. And this is exactly why guys don't fully open up. Not a-hole. Some of us care and will listen though. It's a give and take. Not all girlfriends are like that. I'm certainly not. Yeah, I tell women that if their boyfriend or husband is emotionally closed off, they should ask themselves if they're the kind of person who truly wants to hear it. Because maybe he's that way due to reaction like Opie's girlfriends, or because his vulnerability was used against him in previous relationships. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I did not hide from her that my sister was in fact my stepsister? My wife and I have been married for 3 years and together for 7. For context, my biological mom sadly passed away during childbirth, and a couple of years later, my dad married my stepmom, who had a 1-year-old daughter. My stepmom's husband had also tragically passed when her daughter was only a couple of months old. All that being said, for all intents and purposes, my stepmom is my mom, and my stepsister is my sister, as they've been in my life since I was very young. While I was happy that my dad and stepmom loved each other deeply and bonded over shared grief, it also led to them neglecting both me and my sister to some extent. Ever since kindergarten, my sister and I have had to rely on each other a lot, which has created a strong bond that continues to this day. My wife is friends with my sister and has always thought our sibling bond was sweet. However, last week, she found out that my sister is technically my stepsister, and she freaked out. She asked why I had hidden this from her for so long. I explained that I hadn't hidden anything, it just never occurred to me to bring it up because it wasn't relevant in my mind. My wife then said that a lot of things my stepsister and I do are normal if we're biological siblings, but they seem weird since we're step-siblings. She claimed my stepsister is too clingy to me, and that it's odd for step-siblings to have such a close relationship. I told my wife to get her head checked, which was admittedly harsh, but I thought what she was saying was absolutely ridiculous. Am I the a-hole? Does your wife often watch videos on the P-Hub? Because unless she's getting stuck in a washing machine often and calling you over for help, I'm not sure what could be so strange about your sibling relationship. It's honestly so annoying. Like, it doesn't just automatically make everything hotter. Quite the opposite. But I guess they have the data. Lol. Not the a-hole. While I do think it's a bit odd that this never came up even once in 7 years, it's nothing to get mad over. It sounds like your wife places way too much emphasis on blood relation. Saying your bond is only okay if you're biologically related is just bizarre. She's getting hung up on semantics here. I could understand mild confusion about why it never came up, but definitely not anger. It might be misplaced anger and shock at not knowing something so basic. The closeness of your sibling relationship isn't a problem. If anything, it's surprising she didn't know about your mom's passing earlier in the relationship. The wife's reaction seems more about her expectations of family dynamics than any real issue. It's a strong bond regardless of labels. It speaks volumes about your relationship. That your wife didn't know your biological mom died and your dad remarried. That's fundamental stuff. My wife and I know everything about each other's histories. There's literally nothing left to say. I find it odd that you two never discussed this before. But hey, that's probably why you're dealing with such a strange reaction now. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not dropping out of a house party despite it making my ex's new fiancé uncomfortable? My ex 27 male and I 26 female split 2 years ago. We met through my best friend who worked in the same theater as him at a time. The reason we broke up was that he felt the relationship wasn't working anymore. It was pretty amicable. I didn't put up a fight or anything. But I strongly believed there was no reason for us to stay friends. That always causes problems. However, I'm still friendly with his friends and exchange pleasantries if I run into his parents. We live in a pretty close-knit environment. Don't ask me how, but most of my friends and his either went to the same university, share a common hobby, or just happen to overlap socially. As a result, we see each other once or twice every couple of months. My ex has a fiancé now, and I'm happy for them. I've never met her, and until now, I don't think that mattered. We're all adults, or so I thought. One of his closest friends, Peter, recently bought a house. I'm friends with Peter's girlfriend, so we were both invited to the housewarming. I didn't think much of it, but yesterday my ex texted me out of the blue after a year of no contact. He was polite, but asked if I could skip the housewarming since he was bringing his fiancée and she would feel uncomfortable. His wording struck me as odd, so I called him. During the call, he explained that his fiancée feels uncomfortable being around me and thinks I sometimes intrude into their social gatherings to prove I'm better than her to his friends. Hearing this made me mad. I asked him how exactly I was doing that, since we aren't friends. And I stopped hanging out with the circle after our breakup to avoid making things awkward for him. I pointed out that any mutual friends I've maintained are people I grew close to independently, and their opinions of her have nothing to do with me. My ex explained that 2 of his friends don't like or respect his fiancée and think she's an airhead. This includes Peter. Even his parents share the same view. He suggested that my presence exacerbates this issue. I told him that's not my fault his friends or family hold those opinions, and that it sounds like he's being a spineless boyfriend. I firmly told him Peter and his girlfriend are my friends, and that I would be attending the housewarming. His relationship issues aren't my responsibility. After the call, I blocked him. Later, his fiancée sent me a long text apologizing, but also accusing me of being vindictive. She claimed it shouldn't matter to me whether I skipped the housewarming, and asked me to respect her and avoid causing drama. I didn't respond and blocked her as well. My friends are furious with my ex, but I haven't told Peter or his girlfriend about any of this yet. I'm starting to wonder if I could have handled the situation differently. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. You were not the a-hole here. You're allowed to go to a friend's party, and it's not your responsibility to manage their insecurities. If I were OP, my responses to X would be blunt and probably brutal along the lines of, if your fiancé is uncomfortable, it is her responsibility as an adult to remove herself from that situation. considering first of all that she did not do that, and secondly, thought it was okay to have you call your ex and demand she nags on an accepted invite? I am beginning to get why your friends do not like her. But I am an a-hole. OP should probably not listen to me. That's far more polite than I would have been. My response would be, not my problem your girlfriend is immature and childish. Her insecurities are your problem, not mine, and I don't care. See ya. Not the a-hole, but you should tell Peter and his girlfriend. Your ex and his fiancé are pricks. It is not your job to manage their emotions or insecurities. If she's uncomfortable, then she should stay home. I agree. Peter should be told before the ex has a chance to spin this and make OP the bad guy. Peter is one of those people who doesn't like her. Our circle is mainly filled with people who mix within a certain type of bookish thinking. Plus, Peter and another of my ex's friends think she is anti-intellectual. Most of my ex's friends are like that, theater people or really pretentious a-holes. Peter doesn't like her more because he thinks my ex was stupid to break up with me and couldn't handle it if I was doing better than him. Their friendship is already on thin ice, and I don't want to be the reason it breaks. You won't be the reason. The ex and girlfriend will be the reason. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my girlfriend drive my car because she's totaled 2 cars before? I, 24 male, recently bought my first nice car, a 2019 Mazda 3. It's not a luxury car, but I worked my butt for it. I saved for years, drove beaters while working 2 jobs, and finally getting this car felt like a reward for all my hard work. I take care of it meticulously. I wash it every weekend, never let the gas tank get below half, and park far away from everyone else in the parking lots like a total dork. Here's the issue. My girlfriend Emily, 24 female, wants to drive it. I love Emily, but she is the single worst driver I've ever met. And I'm not exaggerating. 1, she's totaled 2 cars in the past 2 years. The first was because she misjudged the distance while merging on the highway. The second, she reversed into a light pole in an empty parking lot. 2, she tailgates like crazy. I've had to tell her multiple times to back off from the car in front of us when I'm in the passenger seat because it feels like we're going to crash. 3, she admitted she doesn't like paying attention while driving because it's boring. I wish I were kidding. I let her drive my old car once, a 15-year-old Civic I wasn't too attached to, and she managed to scrape it pulling into a gas station. After that, I said I'd never let her drive my car again, and we both kind of laughed it off. Now that I have this car, she keeps asking to drive it. At first it was playful, stuff like, let me take it for a spin. And I just said no with a laugh. But recently she's been getting more annoyed. She says things like, you act like I'm going to crash it or something. And, well, yeah. The other day, while driving to dinner, me driving obviously, she brought it up again. She said it's weird that I won't let my own girlfriend drive my car, and it makes her feel like I don't trust her. I told her straight up, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I've seen you drive, and I can't afford to have this car wrecked. She got quiet and didn't say much for the rest of the night. Later, she told me I embarrassed her and made her feel incompetent. I said I wasn't trying to embarrass her, but she has totaled 2 cars. She said I should get over it because accidents happen and that I'm being controlling. Now, she's retaliating by not letting me use her PC, claiming I might break it even though I've never done anything to warrant that. I honestly think it's childish. Am I the a-hole? My sister has been in 7 car collisions. None her fault, not even when she destroyed our mom's garage. It jumped out at her. Some people really don't understand driving. Like your girlfriend, some people will contrive any reason not to be at fault. Consider whether she does this in other areas of her life. Is she ever at fault for anything that goes wrong? Is she capable of admitting responsibility in any context? And of course, not the a-hole. I would never entrust anyone I cared about to be driven by this person. I find it hard to believe that someone who says they find paying attention while driving boring isn't awful in other ways. But you do you, OP, I guess. The thought of someone driving a 2-ton missile and not paying attention because it's boring is terrifying. Not the a-hole. Not only is she a bad driver, but she refuses to take any responsibility. Both of her major accidents were entirely her fault, but you should get over it. You'd be crazy to let her drive. Given her retaliation with her PC, you also need to evaluate whether you'd be crazy to stick with her. Yeah, I'd question staying in a relationship with someone who doesn't like paying attention while driving and has crashed multiple times. She doesn't respect her own life and certainly doesn't respect anyone else's. She's a risk to herself and others, and that should be a major turnoff. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to share my homemade meals with my roommate's boyfriend? I, 25 female, have a roommate, Sarah, 26 female, who recently started dating this guy, Tom, 28 male. I cook most of my meals from scratch because I enjoy it, and it's cheaper and healthier for me. Sarah's fine with it, and occasionally I'll share leftovers with her when I make extra. No problem. Lately though, Tom has started coming over more often, almost daily, and has been helping himself to my food. He doesn't ask, doesn't contribute groceries, and never says thank you. At first I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be rude, but last week, I came home to find he'd eaten an entire portion of food I'd prepped for my next day's lunch. I finally confronted Sarah about it and told her I didn't appreciate Tom eating my food. She brushed it off, saying he's just comfortable here and that it's not a big deal. I told her it is a big deal because I budget and plan my meals. And if he's eating my food, it throws everything off. I made it clear I wouldn't be sharing anymore and asked her to let Tom know. Fast forward to yesterday, I made a pot of chili and Tom came over while I was out. When I got back, a big chunk of it was gone. I was furious and told Sarah this was exactly what I was talking about and it needed to stop. Sarah said I was overreacting and called me stingy for not sharing food when it's just a couple of bites. Spoiler, it's not. I told her I'm not her boyfriend's chef and that I don't owe him free meals. Now things are tense and Sarah's acting like I'm the bad guy. Tom hasn't said anything directly, but I can tell Sarah told him because he's been giving me the cold shoulder. I'm starting to feel guilty, but I don't think I'm wrong for wanting boundaries here. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, period. Tom sounds like an a-hole and a mooch. You should tell Tom directly that he needs to stop eating someone else's food. You've done nothing wrong. Don't let Tom or Sarah quietly act superior. Confront them both together and tell them exactly what you've laid out here. Expect him to behave like a grown adult and stop stealing food. Sounds like Tom needs to stop being in the apartment at all. You live there and pay rent. He doesn't. If he's making you uncomfortable, he's got to go. First, stop worrying about being rude. You need to be rude. You need to tell Tom to stop being a damn mooch and that he owes you X for the food he's already stolen from you. Do not back down from this. Way too many women are raised to always be nice and don't be rude and don't make waves. Yeah, that's BS. Stand up for yourself in no uncertain terms. He's not a mooch, he's a thief. Mooches at least ask.